Hey everyone, welcome back to a new Hints and Theories video. This time a little bit different. And yeah, let's start right away with the explanation why this year is a little bit different again. I've uploaded a YouTube Shorts video about 2 weeks ago, but I'm afraid that not everyone got to see it. Unfortunately, I'm having technological problems. I have problems with my software editing program for my videos and also with my laptop. So I can't upload any of my edited videos at the moment, which is why I uploaded the short explanation video telling you that there, unfortunately would not be a Hints and Theories video for that week. Back then I had filmed it, I had edited it, but YouTube did not accept it. And then afterwards I could not edit it anymore at all because the software did not want to do anything. Anyways, the problem was that it was a very short video, and if you upload a short video on YouTube with your mobile phone, then YouTube automatically creates a YouTube short, which I did not want to, but yeah, even if I say I want it to be a real video, YouTube says no, it's going to be a short. Long story short, it is a little bit complicated at the moment, but I thought we are trying something new here. So I'm filming this right now in one shot. So I'm not going to cut this, so I will apologize beforehand if I have any, little pauses in between or have to start a sentence again, or if there are any random Dutch words suddenly and I have to start new, because those are the main things I usually edit out of my videos, cut out of my videos. But I thought it would be really a pity if we do not have the chance to talk about Wismol, the anniversary season at all anymore. And I also got read comments that you of course also want to talk about it, which I absolutely get. So we're trying this way, and if it works out and if YouTube accepts it, then you will have this little unedited video here as basis for your discussion. And I thought we just start with the newest episode and maybe I will say one or two things about the last episodes, of which we do not have a video yet. So let's dive right into it. So this is very spontaneous now and nothing planned, but I have to say I really enjoyed that episode. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really cool that they had this. I really like that about the anniversary seasons, that we have those flashbacks again and again, that they always find a new way to connect something or someone from an older season to the new season, so that you really have the feeling it is an anniversary and old things or old people are coming back. And this time they did it with a task in the water slide park and with Peter Jan Hagens. So I really liked it, and I think, we saw that Kim also really liked it, and really was happy to see him back. And also the idea with the items they had to get there, just choosing which one was the right one was really interesting as well. Which brings me to the first thing I just have to talk about because it sits in my mind. We have 4 candidates left over. So we have Nathan, Kim, Merel, and Loes. And of course, I am very interested in the question, in the fact who your mole is at the moment. And my personal feelings are a bit mixed. So, of course, Merel is super suspicious, but I have to say, I think it is so in your face what she does that I actually hope that it's not her. And then we have Loes, who's a bit in the background still, but also does some weird things, but also tries to earn money, like in the challenge with the oranges. She had this cat fight, they called it, with Meryl, in which Meryl obviously wanted to maul again, and Luz tried to, well, stop her from doing that. So, makes her a little bit less suspicious, I think. And then with Kim, who is a bit, well, in the beginning I thought she is suspicious, but I have the feeling that well, got a bit less in the last episodes. And then there's Nathan, and to be honest, I think it would be so cool if he's the mole. There's a little voice in me who still hopes that he is the mole. Like, I mean, the perfect candidate being the mole, this is toch, ja, is gewoon, oké, dit is simply a dream, isn't it? Reminds me a bit of 2018's mole in Georgia. Back then, so many people were surprised because the mole seemed like the perfect candidate, and in the end, he was the mole. And Nathan, with his whole values and norms that he tries to follow, and in the end would turn out as mole. And I know it's hard to believe because he acts like he always wants to go for the pot and everything for the group, but he does have his suspicious moments as well. Like, for example, in the water slide park, he did run around a lot. Of course, he watched a lot of those videos, and he also told the truth in what he saw there. But if I remember it correctly, then he brought Merel to the suits, whatever, to her item. Merel, of course, again, well, her search, we do not have to talk about it all. And then, maybe I'm wrong, but if I remember it correctly, then I think he told her to take both of them. And I mean, if you're the mole and if your alibi is to be the perfect candidate, then that is the exact way to do it, because you appear like the perfect candidate. You tell the truth in which item the candidate should get. You even take the responsibility to accompany the candidate to that item. And then you just say take both of them, because you know it will not get any money into the pot if they take both. I mean, that is so, yeah, I think that would be really cool. And also the whole thing that he did not do the button thing, that he did not want to look at the mole. Of course, he said, yeah, that is not does not go along with my values and standards. But in the end, if he's the mole, then he does not have to take the log. And also, the task was that if only one person presses the button, they will earn the money. And at this point in the game, you of course know that all of the candidates will press. So you know that this money is basically lost, or that there was never a chance to win that money. So why not take it anyway? You can't save the money by not taking it. So I think it actually makes him a little bit more suspicious than less suspicious. And I have to say, you probably remember it from earlier seasons that his son has his own little TV program for children, in which his son is on searching for the mole. So that is Nathan's son who presents this program, and I love it because it's funny and you always get like a recap of the episode again and all of that. And sometimes they have really good hints that I've probably missed or did not see in any other hints and theories videos of other YouTubers or so. And in this season, I thought they would not produce it because there also is no mole talk this time, this talk show, which usually airs right after Raise the Mole. But there is one. So yesterday I watched several of those episodes from this children's program right after another, which was kind of great because I got like a review, a recap of the first 4 episodes or so. I still have 2 more to watch. And then there was the scene in episode 2 when they were in that port tasting, the port tasting episode. So one group was drinking Porto, you know, the drink, the alcoholic drink, and the other group was running around and trying to solve those tasks and with those barrels. And before that happened, Nathan was the only one who had a chance to influence the game, because in episode number 1 he was chosen as the mole by the old winners, and he actually had right there the chance to influence how much money they could win in that port drinking game. And back then he chose for wisdom and advantage for himself instead of for more money. And I am, since I've watched it again yesterday, I've been thinking about it, like, isn't it against his values and standards? Like, he always goes for the money, but then, right then, when he had the chance to, well, influence if they really would have a chance to earn more money, right then he does not do it, which is absolutely understandable from a point of view of a candidate, but not from a point of view of a candidate who is Nathan Rutjes. Anyway, long story short, I've been thinking about a lot of things of Nathan since yesterday, because I was in the beginning really happy to see him back, and right in the beginning I had like, oh, how cool would it be that if he's the mole, and then after a few episodes I of course also thought like, he's such a candidate, he can't be it. And since yesterday evening, that little voice inside of me got louder again, and I'm so afraid that I'm totally wrong with it right now, and I've been talking about it for minutes, but I think it would be so cool. Okay, but of course there are also some other candidates as well. Unfortunately, we lost Annemarie and Jure. I also have to say that I really enjoyed them, especially in the last episodes. Mere, as I said, of course it could be her again, but I think it's so obvious, and I can't remember that it was so obvious back in her first season, so when she really was the mole, which is why I somehow sometimes get the vibe that she really wants to mole, and she also thinks that she needs to mole to, well, stay in the game, to get herself suspicious, which of course is the tactic you should follow as candidate. But I just think it's not really clever moling. Also, 2 weeks ago in the episode when they had to throw those sacks and she threw it right into that field number 2 with the minus money. It's always so in your face. Like back then, in the video which I had filmed and could not upload, I had said that I would have preferred Sahil's way to do it, because he also did not earn any money, but by throwing the sack right next to the field into the, well, out zone. So I think that's a bit more classy. But of course, there are a lot of hints also leading to Merel, because she presented in November and early December a program also for children on Dutch television called the Sinterklaasjournaal. The short version is that in the Netherlands, especially for children, Sinterklaas is a celebration in the beginning of December, which is especially for children even more important than Christmas, I think. So they usually get their main presents on that day. Of course, also always depends a bit on how the family does it, but Sinterklaas is a really big thing in the Netherlands, and they have a children's program leading up to that day, and Merel is the presenter of that program since 2 years, I think it was the second year this time, and the Dutch have spotted a lot of hints in Wie is de Mol in connection with that program, so to say, like throwing these sacks, because Sinterklaas has all the presents for the children, all the gifts in such a sack. Yeah. So there were some hidden hints leading to Mira, and I'm sorry for the Nathan tunnel I'm probably in, obviously. There was something else in the program of his son, which got to think me a bit. Because if you think back to that school task we had in episode 3, I think, back then there was this hidden hint with the random chemics symbol thing. I had it in my video, but there was another interesting thing. They were in the classroom in the chemics lab, and then they always had to run in the pauses, in the breaks. They always had to run to, that controlling guy sitting in the hall, and then they had to exchange information there. And the interesting thing his son mentioned was that right before the task, they had like a shot from above showing a football field. And as we know, Nathan was a football player. But not only that, then that guy sitting in the hall also used, I don't know what the word is actually, to be honest, but that little tool you have when you are the one leading the soccer game. Yeah, I'm missing words here right now, but I guess you get what I mean. So maybe a hidden hint to Nathan again. Yeah. Then yesterday there also was one more thing I want to say about the really interesting test situation. I loved that because it reminded me of the last anniversary season. If you've watched that last anniversary season, if not, okay. If you haven't watched it and you're planning to watch it still, because I know it is to be found on YouTube, then do not listen to me right now, because this is going to be a huge spoiler and it will ruin your season. But if you've watched it, then you know that Nikki de Jager won the season. And she won it because she was the only one in episode number 1, I think, who turned around when Rick told her that sometimes or that you have to watch what is happening behind your back. And she was the only one turning around, watching what was happening behind her back, and the mole was right there. So she knew from the beginning who the mole was. And we as viewers did not get to know that until the end of the season. But still, I thought it was so cool. And the situation yesterday, that the mole did not appear in front of them, but behind them, reminded me of that. And I was like, that's it. And I loved it. I really, really loved it about the anniversary season. All those things that remind you of earlier seasons. Yeah. They had an amazing time at Orange Farm, I guess. I have to be honest, I have right now spontaneously not the overview of which questions they answered correctly or not. I mean, in the end, they earned a lot of money there. In the end, all the products they had to produce, the cake and the mimosas and jam, marmalade, turned out, very tasty, very yummy. So it was very good, I guess. And what did we have in last week's episode? The tram ride was before that. Oh yeah, the tram ride, and then this whole elimination thing, this whole random thing with Art Rojakkers, the other old presentator, coming along. Like, how crazy was that? And I mean, how crazy were people mauling there? Even Jure was, but I mean, we do not have to talk about Jure anymore. But still, Luz also was acting weird there. And have you seen Luz's reaction? Because you could still question yourself, was she really the one with the red card? And if you have a look at how she reacts to Rick pulling out the red card, it seems very likely that it was her who threw in the red card. Yeah, and then of course Jure and Nathan, who both just wanted to go for green, and there was no other option than that. Also very typical and fitting to the values and norms and standards thing of Nathan. But then again, yeah, it was logical that not all of them would go for green, right? And yeah, last but not least, the tram ride was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that one, and yeah, it was very obvious that Luz was in the wrong place on the wrong seat because her season did not start in Georgia, as she admitted then in the interview. She started in Russia, which is, by the way, still my favorite season with such a cool start. And one more thing about Mera in that episode, what was really interesting was that when they had the postcards of them from that tram ride, Annemarie got the postcards from Rick, and the task was to decide where in the Netherlands those postcards should appear, and then they would that would be a nice surprise for the fans who would find the postcard, which is, by the way, I think a cool idea for such an anniversary season. But then Mira suggested that they could sign the cards with the mole. And also Annemarie had written all of, the other texts on the postcards. Mira then took the cards to sign it with the mole herself. So that was very interesting, and it's probably a hidden hint to Merel as a mole. If she's a modern, I think that one was pretty cool. Very risky, but pretty cool. Yeah. Then we had the crime task last week with the murder they had to solve, which I really liked the idea. Thought it was a cool one. In the end, of course, they did not check the alibis, which was a mistake, but also that the last group who had found that special room, that it wasn't a cathedral, but like those a bit more special room, they did not tell the audience that they had found it. That was actually pretty dumb, I would say. And of course did not help in solving the case, and in the end no money added to the pot. By the way, that reminds me, we had a fish stick situation, of course, due to the elimination. I had talked about it long in my video. So I had to think of all of you sitting back home and thinking like, okay, that's fish stick situation. Also, I have to say that compared to other seasons when we had that, I think it was better this time because the mole did not, absolutely rely on that. Like, remember that I think it was the season in which Renee was the mole, in which it was like, okay, the pot's so high, and can it really be? And then there was the chance that they could play a lot of money out of the pot, and then it was like, okay, of course the mole knew that it could that this could happen and all of that. But this time I didn't expect anything like that coming up. Like in the same episode, they also already had the chance to get some money out of the pot by choosing the person with the minus money when they in the whole flying and throwing things around task. But that there really would be coming up something to empty the pot completely, I did not expect that. So yeah, that was a little shock. But actually, when they had explained it, pretty likely that it would happen, because the chance that the mole would be part of the group discussing, was just so high. And in the end, we now know that it exactly was like that. Sahi is out of the game now. Annemarie is out of the game now. So it really is the exact situation they had in Annemarie's season back then when they played it, which was that Annemarie as mole was part of the discussing group. And I think when you have the mole in that discussion group, then you have no chance of winning the extra money, and you can be happy if your pot stays the same. Let's say it like that. Or if you only lose a part of it and not, the whole thing. Yeah. And then, of course, also last week we had the lunch task, let's call it like that, with the really with the really spicy and the really sour food, and they at first I was looking forward to it because I've seen this kind of task in several versions of the movies, the mole now, in a Belgian season, but also in a Netflix season, and I was a bit disappointed because I thought it would be more exciting. I remember it to be more exciting from the audio versions, to be honest. But in the end, they did it good. And now that I'm talking about it, what I had after watching that episode, I thought Nathan's reaction was really weird. Because if we think about it again, the first one to open the envelope, they all had the same texts in the envelope. It was always like, if you're the last one who opens it, you will earn 2 jokers. If another one opens it, you will earn nothing. So Mira was the first one to open it, and she, of course, probably knew that the chance was very low that nobody else would open it. So she was like, Nathan, you need to decide what you want to do. Then Nathan opens it, and he earns, in theory, 2 jokers. And he could have stopped there. He could have simply said to Sahil, no, don't do it. By that, he would have had 2 jokers and could have, shared it with Sahil, because that was obviously what he wanted to do. But instead of doing that, he advises Sahil to open his envelope, which means Nathan himself loses his jokers, Sahil gets the 2 jokers, and then he explains it to us with hoping Sahil would share one with him. Like, that's the exact same situation, like, if Sahil shares his 2 jokers or Nathan shares his 2, it does not make any difference, actually. Except for the fact that if Sahil as candidate wins the jokers, then it's a nice thing because he's a candidate. And if I'm in Montana, Nathan is the mole, then he probably does not want to have jokers, or does not want to win jokers himself because he's the mole. But of course, as a nicely acting candidate, he would be very happy if Sahil shares one with him. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm just way too deep into the tunnel. But yeah, just came to my mind spontaneously. By the way, Annemarie's joker obviously did not help her in this episode. So now I've talked about almost 30 minutes about the last 3 weeks. I definitely missed a lot, I guess. But I tried to do a quick recap. I'm sorry for the whole situation. It's a bit weird. You've probably noticed that in the earlier videos of this season, I also did not have any, photos of what happened in the episodes edited into my videos already because of my software problems. And anyway, we will not start about it again. I hope that this year is a little, recompensation, and I am so curious to hear about all of your thoughts about the last weeks. I really want to know who your mole is. I really want to know if you think I'm completely lost in my Nathan tunnel. I'm probably really deep into it right now. So tell me who your mole is, who you would like to be your mole, and I hope that if Nathan is not the mole, then I hope he at least is the winner. Let me know share all of your thoughts with me and with the others, of course, in the comment section below. I hope this gives a little recommendation so that you can discuss about what happened. And I'm so looking forward to next week's season because I really, really enjoyed the last episodes a lot. And hopefully we will see each other back then. Until then, bye!